Well, hey there, guys. Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Web Slingers Podcast. This is the one and only show. We're talking about all things Spider-Man and the Marvel Universe. And I'm doing both a video version of this and a audio version of this. A video version for the YouTube channel, audio version for the podcast. By the way, if you guys haven't subscribed to the podcast feed, find links to all the different to the podcast, and you can basically find it where you can find the podcast feed wherever you get your podcasts. We are here to talk about Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. And I actually got to see the film as I take a drink out of my, by the way, Wakanda Forever cup. Let's go ahead and talk about Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. So, let's do it, guys. Let's talk about Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. So Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. It is the newest film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the sequel to the Best Picture nominated film, Black Panther, and it stars Tenoch Huerta as Namor, Angela Bassett as Queen Ramonda, Danai Gurira as Okoye, Letitia Wright as Shuri, Lupita Nyong'o as Nakia, Martin Freeman returns as Everett K. Ross, Florence Kasumba returns as Io, Winston Duke returns as M'Baku, Michaela, oh wow, I'm butchered this name. Michaela Cole is a new addition to the cast as Anika, and we have another new addition, Dominique Thorne, in the film playing Riri Williams. And this film is once again co-written and directed by Ryan Coogler. So, let's talk about Black Panther Wakanda Forever. What I think of the film. I loved it. If you guys saw my quick social media reaction, I thought it was a beautiful film. I think it's a loving tribute to Chadwick Boseman. It is, for me, the most emotional film that the MCU has ever made. And I think this is an MCU film that kind of takes us back to the MCU that we fell in love with. You know, the MCU that produced such films like The Winter Soldier or the first Iron Man, you know, where it feels more human and it's not so focused on, you know, making you laugh and all that stuff. There's humor in the film, and we'll talk about some of that in a little bit. So, but I thought overall it was a very loving tribute to Chadwick Boseman. Let's go ahead and talk about the pros and the cons of this film. Okay, the first one I gotta mention is the performances. Everyone is phenomenal in the film. Letitia Wright, Winston Duke as M'Baku. I mean, M'Baku, he was one of my favorite characters from the first film, and I think, steals it again. Every scene he's in, it just kills it. Her character was really great, but I really want to talk about Angela Bassett. In my opinion, she steals the movie from everybody. She really does. Nothing against all the other actors in the film. Everyone does a fantastic job, but Angela Bassett specifically brings this raw emotion that every time she spoke, there were moments where she was speaking where I felt her pain. If this movie was going to get any award consideration, I would say Angela Bassett deserves some sort of award recognition for what she does in this film. It's masterful. It's so beautiful and almost heartbreaking performance that she gives in the film. The action is better in this one than it was in the last film. Namor is a fantastic addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I feel like him and the Talocan, as they're called in this film, bring a whole new element to the Marvel Cinematic Universe that we haven't really seen. And what makes Namor so compelling. I personally, and again, I can't get into specifics. I'll save my specifics for the spoilers review, which is going to be on Saturday. But when it comes to Namor, there were certain moments where I never saw him as the bad guy. I honestly, I didn't see him as a bad guy. He almost felt like Thanos in a way where he's the hero of his own story. Yeah, the humor. Let me talk about the humor of the film. Now, lately the MCU has had a tradition of putting more jokes into their films than usual. But I think the humor in this film blends in to the emotions of the film way more than it did in like Thor: Love and Thunder. For me, there were moments of the film where it would get really heavy, and then you would have some humor thrown in there just to lighten it up a bit. Ironheart carries a lot of that humor. She definitely is in there for comic relief, but it's the good kind of comic relief. It's the kind of comic relief that made me really like her. And Ironheart, I will say this, Ironheart is a character in the comics that I really don't care about Ironheart in the comics. Not that I think she's a bad character, I just don't think she's as interesting. But in Wakanda Forever, I feel like they really did a good job of making me care for her and empathize with her. And from the minute she shows up on screen, you're kind of engaged with what's going on with her in the film and what her role is, But the last positive I want to mention is I loved the message of what the film was really trying to say. This, I feel like, has the most meaningful message out of any of the Marvel films ever. For me, a lot of the Marvel films are just fun. They don't really have some deep internal message within them. They're just, they're big summer blockbusters that are great. Don't get me wrong, a lot of them are really great, but they're mostly big summer blockbusters. This movie honestly has a really deep hidden meaning behind it, and the message of the film, the theme of the movie really revolves around grief. And that is something that our main cast is really thrown for, because not only are they dealing with, the loss of their king and the loss of their protector, but now they're dealing with a whole other nation that is kind of pissed. That's really pissed. To put it lightly, they're kind of pissed. But this movie is not perfect. So let me go ahead and name my one criticism with the film. And maybe once I see it again, maybe I'll find another criticism with the film. But this is just after having seen it the one time. My one criticism with the film. This film clocks in at about 2 hours and 41 minutes. And just in my opinion, you could feel the runtime. You could definitely feel the runtime, and there were a couple moments where I was like, okay, let's pick up the pace a little bit. And in my opinion, I feel like if you would have cut down 10 minutes, 2 hours and 30 minutes, this film would have sung. My overall thoughts is that this movie is great. I am really amazed at the work that's displayed on the screen. One thing I will also say is that after seeing this film, I am at the opinion that I don't think Ryan Coogler has it in him to make a bad movie. I personally don't feel like Ryan Coogler has the skill to make a bad movie. This dude literally just craps out excellence. And he's a kind of director who understands what you need in these big budget summer what you need in these big budget superhero films. But overall, guys, I really love Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. I really hope you guys will see the film. And please, 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 if you have seen the film, you can tell me what you think, but please don't spoil the movie in the comment section. Please don't spoil the movie. There's people out there who haven't seen the film, so please don't spoil the movie. Yeah, guys, that will do it for this review, and that will do it for this episode of the Web Slingers Podcast, guys. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you guys like this podcast, please make sure you share the podcast and subscribe. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I think I should subscribe to my channel because Zeke the Geek said so, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace out.